Hi, I'm Jesse Bauer, and I'll be doing my paper on life of an Inuit. According to ocean-wide expeditions, Eskimos, or eaters of raw meat, have been surviving in the most extreme climates in the world, no matter what hands they were dealt with. The reason I did this is because I was actually watching TV and saw a show on Discovery called Life Below Zero, and it's about groups of people who have been living above or near the Arctic Circle their whole life, and it just fascinated me on how they survived through the cold and what animals and climates they had to deal with, so I wanted to look into it more. The Inuit people have been living in harsh areas around the world, like Siberia, Canada, Alaska, and Greenland. They were the last people to arrive in North America, so that is why they got pushed up north from Canada to Alaska, near the Arctic Circle. Learning about any natives is very interesting for me. For the Inuits, finding who they are and how they survive in such harsh climates is something that fascinated me. Trying to find their purpose for living and staying in such a place is also very fascinating to me. According to Minority Rights, their population from 2000 was about 0.03%, so it's very little. And that was in 2000, so it's a long time ago. Figuring out who the Inuits are will help you better understand what they're about. Who are the Inuits? According to ocean-wide expeditions, they have been living near the Arctic Circle since the 13th century. Definitely makes you a badass living in such a very harsh climate. They were the last of the natives to arrive in North America. Their first English is native, or Yupik, and their religion is Christianity and some other small ones. Learning who they are is one thing. Surviving is this wasteland is something completely different. How did the Inuits survive? According to the first people of Canada, since they lived in the Arctic where everything looks the same, they use the stars to travel from place to place instead of have GPS or any of that kind of stuff. And that's very interesting to me because just think about 13th century and they're using the stars to navigate through the cold and the wilderness, and it's just pretty wild to me that they were able to survive through all that. They settled near coastal areas so they could hunt, fish easier, and lived in tents made from seals or made igloos from snow. And that also interests me because, I mean, you hear about igloos, but you never know really where they came from. Like when you're a little kid, you'd play in the snow and try to make an igloo, but it would never work. And this is how they actually lived. They lived in igloos. And that is really fascinating. And then for hunting, they would normally hunt for whales or seals, or they would fish, and that's why they lived near the ocean. Walruses they used, and when they would get animals, they'd use every part of the bone. Like for walruses, I know they use their fangs for sleds, because sometimes they would travel with dogs, because that's really all that they could use up there to survive. And it's pretty fascinating how they all did that. A lot of the times they hunted and fished in small boats or kayaks to get food for the community. And I never realized that's where kayaks came from, is from the Native Alaskans or Inuits. Because I thought kayak was just like a brand or something that they all were called, but they actually made kayaks for each person to travel through the Arctic, whether it be Greenland, Siberia, or wherever they were in. And that was pretty cool. With so much work to just try to stay alive, what made and helped them stay and get through those tough times? Climate change is a big factor for them trying to survive. I know, like right now, with all the climate change going on, all the ice melting, that's putting a big hurt on them because more of the animals they eat, because some of these people, they depend on the wild animals for food and live off the land. And I know like some areas caribou are disappearing, less caribou numbers. and it's native fish. That's a problem. So it's being harder for them to find food to live because animals are dying. What is their purpose? According to Ocean-Wide Expeditions, they have a strong moral code and require a strong sense of family and community to serve in the harsh conditions. These moral codes are based on ancient myths and legends shown from their drawings. Hunting is a cultural involvement for them that also helps them survive. It has always been the heart of their community to help them completely live off the land. And I know, like, this is probably the only quote-unquote native thing that I heard that completely, like, they don't have a leader or nothing. There's no king, ruler. They're just one family, and they all just do the same thing together. Whether it be hunting or trying to find shelter, they do everything together. And that is basically their big moral code is you just, because hard place to survive, and you need everybody to stick together to survive. So if one falls off, your whole group's going to be dead. Learning who the Inuit people are, how they survive, and what their purpose is truly helped me figure out more about them and what they are about.